All right, so welcome to Chapter 7, Improving Decisions with Marketing Information. And as you can tell, this chapter was about marketing research. Basically, it's about the marketing research, what marketers, how they conduct marketing research, what kind of issues they face when they conduct marketing research. And it also talked about the marketing research industry, which is a whole new area where marketing professionals can be employed. So if you're interested in marketing, many people often don't know that they have pretty high level of employability, in the market research industry, which is pretty big in size. Often people don't know about that. So this will be the agenda as we discuss the topics in this lecture. So marketing research and its importance. I'm wondering, can you name a market research company that you have heard of? I'm guessing you drew a blank. And quite often people draw a blank because it's easy to kind of guess, because it is a business to business market. So consumers like you and me, we are not exposed to these firms at all. The global market research revenues in 2013, as I told you, is pretty big, were about 39, close to $40 billion, out of which about $15 billion or so was spent in the USA, and USA happens to be the single largest market for marketing research services. So what is marketing research? Marketing research is it's just a systematic gathering, recording, and analysis of data about issues which are related to marketing products and services. And instead of taking ad hoc decisions being taken by executives, as per their whims and fancies, so you just make it a systematic process. That's what marketing research is. And marketing research is important because the marketing environment is always changing, and hence the marketing strategy too should change. However, information is usually hidden from executives, and executives want to take decisions objectively based on hard evidence. Often it's called CYA, and hence possibly reduce the risk of taking suboptimal decisions. Nobody wants to take suboptimal decisions. The millions of dollars are often at stake. And hence research is conducted on every aspect of the marketing function, on every aspect of the marketing plan that we earlier talked about, the direct environment, external environment, market segmentation, the 4 Ps, advertising, branding, sales, product development, promotions, competitive intelligence, retailing, sampling, you name it, customer satisfaction, the broader marketing environment, etc. And firms actually often specialize, marketing research firms, they often specialize in various functions, in different types of research. So I got 2 of these links for you. One is will indicate towards a wide range of research services which are available out there. So you can click on this and you can find out which are the companies that specialize in a given area. So let's click on that and see. This is a very good resource. Here you will see all the companies listed by category. So first you get to know about the huge variety of market research services which are available out there in advertising, package research, panels, consumer panels, auto, food industry, brand image, interviewing, promotion, psychographic research, business development, public opinion, business to business research. And these are, just look at the variety. And you can click on any of those and see which are the companies which specialize in that. Say suppose you want to click mystery shopping here. Click on mystery shopping in the retail industry, and here you have a list of companies which specialize in mystery shopping. You see, a long list, and geographically you can find out who's based where. So this is a great resource. I thought I'll make it available to you. You can follow that in research. Then if you want, you can also find marketing research firms in Michigan by clicking on this link. So in Michigan, which all companies are, I hope it opens. Why is it taking so long? Okay, here we go. So yeah, here are the market research companies in Michigan, in Detroit and Grand Rapids, and you can go and find that. In case you're interested, you can see which are the companies and what are they doing, what kind of expertise do they have. It can be a great resource, I thought. So this is the universal process of research followed in all disciplines, including marketing. If you take a marketing research class, you're at length taken through this very process. You start with defining the problem and end up with preparing a research report and doing any follow-ups. At this point, say that we need to understand this process well, and we will look at some of the issues which are important here. So suppose you're the brand manager for cheese sold by Kraft Foods for the US market, and you will be responsible for a bunch of decisions related to the product's marketing mix, and you can follow this very process in finding out answers to all the questions you might have in your mind. So let's talk about some key issues that we would like to take up during this discussion when conducting research. The first issue is the use of secondary and primary data. We all know what primary and secondary data is, but the key thing that one should keep in mind is that money should not be spent on collecting primary data unless really needed. Primary data collection is expensive, it takes time and effort. Quite often, suitable secondary data serves your purpose. For example, a lot of demographic information, and we touched upon that earlier too. A lot of demographic information about consumers is available through the census, which is readily available to anybody and everybody, and that too for free. Not a dime has to be spent on collecting demographic information. So anyone collecting demographic information about consumers using primary data is most likely wasting his or her money. Another major issue in research is the sampling technique to use. The simple random sampling is often the most commonly used technique in research, but there are other sampling techniques available as well. Depending on your needs and resources, sometimes others can be better. However, the key factor in sampling technique, and this I want to really drive home, is that the sample should represent the overall population under study. This is absolutely key. So for example, if you're conducting let's say a nationwide study, and suppose you want to measure customer satisfaction of a firm, let's say General Motors, then of course you will pick up a sample of General Motor customers. Let's say 10,000 strong, a decent size sample. Then that sample, and this is key, then that sample should ideally be representative of all of the millions of GM customers. And sample characteristics should be the same as the overall population of customers. The same percentage of income brackets, the same percentage of ethnicities, the same rural-urban divide, the same percentage of various occupations or educational levels, you name it. So, for example, if 10% of real GM customers, they earn more than $200,000 a year, for example, then the chosen sample should also have 10% of such customers for the sample to be representative. And the same should hold true for other sample characteristics as well. I hope it's clear. So you study about these sampling techniques in a research class, and we are not going into the details here. All right, so another major decision is the choice of qualitative versus quantitative approaches to the research. Both have pros and cons, as you read in the text. I would just like to emphasize that a balance is to be struck by the researcher in the use of both. Qualitative research helps you dig deeper into a research problem and gain insights, but it's very time consuming and resource intensive. On the other hand, while quantitative research can be cost effective and quick to execute, it is not able to give you the insights into a problem. So ideally, they should be used in combination, and first use qualitative approaches to deeply understand the nature of the problem, then use quantitative for quickly measuring variables and capturing information from a very large group of respondents, which is typically done through a survey, etc. So here is a focus group interview going on, one of the most commonly used qualitative research techniques that aims to encourage group dynamics in as close to a natural environment as possible. That's the whole idea. Since, plain interviews can be rather artificial, and intimidating for some of the respondents. When it comes to capturing large amounts of data through quantitative research, these are pretty much the three most commonly used questions. As you can see or have experienced yourself, such surveys are quick to fill out and can be statistically analyzed rather efficiently, in a software like SPSS. In contrast, qualitative approaches such as interviews or focus groups require audio recordings, transcribing the conversation, etc. Subsequently, analysis of qualitative data too is quite tedious and time consuming, which is not the case in quantitative research like this. But as I pointed out earlier, it's a trade-off between efficiency and getting valuable insights into consumer behavior. Okay, then you have another research technique that is called the experimental technique, which is set up like this. All experimental researchers have some common elements as shown on this slide. A representative sample of respondents is chosen, which is then divided randomly. I would say once again randomly, because that's the basis of all experimentation. They are randomly divided into two or more groups to conduct the experiment. Due to random assignment of respondents, so these are divided into two random groups. Due to the random assignment of respondents, all the groups are considered equivalent in all respects. There is no difference between these two groups. Subsequently, only one variable is changed between the groups to see its effects. On this slide, that one variable is the difference in the advertisement that they see. They see advertisement 1, this group, and this group sees advertisement 2. Finally, the response of the two groups is measured. The response could be how much they liked the ads, what they remembered from the ads, how much they approved them, etc. It could be anything. And the researcher tries to see if there is any significant difference between the two groups. So given such carefully designed universal structure of an experiment, maybe you wonder, why do researchers conduct an experiment at all? What's the need? Well, an experiment is the only way, remember that, experiment is the only way a cause and effect relationship can be established. No other technique enables you to do that. So for example, if you want to prove that the increase in sales, say for example, was caused by a new and innovative package design, only an experiment can objectively prove that. No other research technique can help you there. And that is why experiments are important and remain an important part of the marketing research industry.